Foundation Course Kabbalah, Part 1, Lesson 18, Rabbi, Michael-ben-Pesach, Portnaar. There's only one Kabbalah. I strive for the real Kabbalah, or in other words, I make myself receivable for Kabbalah. Exactly 3 years ago, and this is written on the 3rd of February 2005, I started with the Kabbalah. It has been a road full of trial and error, but it is given to me from above, and that I have to go on this road. When something is given from above, one has to do it. Therefore, I try with the utmost effort to keep Kabbalah pure, and this means no commerce. The translation I do, the translation of Zohar and all other things, it is unique in the world. There's no place where you can find it this way. Come to experience Kabbalah. You can learn it. It is hard to understand when I say that none of us is capable to give up. Later you will come to the understanding. Maybe there is a resistance while you're reading this, but no, it is your intellect that doesn't have any agreement with this. Your intellect is saying, you can give, look how much you give. But the way one gives, even a little bit, is egoism, pure egoism, even lower than egoism. But later we will learn more about this. It is necessarily you feel Kabbalah. It is impossible to learn to understand Kabbalah with your head. In the whole world, there's no person who can and will understand Kabbalah with his head. You have to experience Kabbalah in the way you have to experience light, the experience of the hidden light. To give is an inner movement, and this is very difficult. Over and over again, there will be within you're feeling the sense of seemingly falling. Notice you aren't capable to give, and at the same time, be aware you grow. That moment of falling down when you feel you aren't capable to give means you come closer to wholeness, to the Creator, Bore. Kabbalah is within you, and it is your inner organization. It is you who has to organize your inner, that is Kabbalah. Kabbalah is a story told by the greatest Kabbalists. And I only speak with you about what they had told. I translate for you the Zohar in a pure way, as true as possible in the way of the great Kabbalists had written it. Not a translation of another translation, only pure Zohar. An integral translation of the Zohar, written by the great Kabbalist. I will give you a translation as pure as possible. I will do everything what lies within my capacity. I'm reading the books of Ari, the greatest Kabbalist ever. I haven't seen another as high as he is, it is to say, nothing higher in this world, in comparison with the instruction of the one creating strength. I will give you pieces of Ari and natural, the source of the Zohar itself. No word, nothing from me or from other living Kabbalists, only Ari. Ari is still alive for me. I feel Ari has the eternal life. He had reached this, and when you read Ari, you feel the eternal life too. He had attracted it from above to here below. And when I read this, I feel the strength of life flowing within my veins. And this happens only when I read Ari. Of course, Yehuda Ashlag, who had written the commentary on the Zohar, he was enormous, high too. But for me, Ari is the highest and the most important. Yehuda Ashlag had taken from Ari too. I translate the Zohar in a way you will never find. No other translation will be so pure. I live and sit with Ari. The rescue I receive is by way of Ari, and by way of Ari I receive the light. Of course, all the light is coming from Ein Sof, from the Creator, Bore. He is the one and the only source. Is it possible for us, who are so low, to receive the light without a person who had showed us the right way, the right path? Ari had given us the right path. When you should say, I can do it on my own, no, it is a very childish reaction. When you say you can do it on your own, you will stay beneath the level of the spiritual, beneath the level of the real life, and that will be very childish. There are already 2 books, the Manual for the Inner Purification and the Introduction in the Kabbalah. Besides this, I start with the Zohar, and the Zohar is creme de la creme in all levels. Light will come from Zohar. I give you the Hebrew translation as pure as possible. It will be a shining of the sun. You will receive light by way of Zohar. I will give a short commentary coming from the best sources, for example, Ari. It will be as manna from heaven. And this will work. Why? Each one of you receives and tastes, and each one of you receives his specific taste, and this is wonderful. The great Kabbalists themselves had said, read Zohar. Although you can't read one Hebrew word, it will be worth reading Zohar. You only need the most important ingredient, kavanah, the intention. And when you have the right kavanah, Zohar gives you light. Zohar gives you the feeling, the power to give in a right way, and this will be your rescue. To give in a real and pure way is your rescue. Therefore, read Zohar even when you lack the understanding. I will help you. I will explain to you so you will see the whole picture. But never try to understand Zohar with your head, with your intellect. Then it won't work. It is impossible to have some understanding when you read with your intellect. Make yourself small, tiny, humble. In a way, make yourself invisible. Only your inner has to be here, and the outer has to stay invisible. And when you do so, your ego falls asleep. When you make your outer invisible, your ego won't be fed. When you're ready with this, read Zohar. But first, you have to work. Make yourself small, tiny, humble. This is the work you have to do. It is better to get confused by the seemingly chaos than be sweetened by way of beautiful words. I don't make the text easier for you because when I throw away the essence, it is better to get confused. Choose for the confusing and not for a simple reading. You are here to develop yourself, and from within the developing take place. When you notice that you have no understanding and you think there are some mistakes, let the mistakes be there. You lack the feeling for the spiritual. That's why you think there are mistakes. You don't have the feeling for the spiritual. Not one of us has this feeling. You have to be very patient because it goes very slowly. Patient is very important. I try to give you a translation as pure and correct as possible. I can't translate it in another way. Pureness is very important for me. I follow the words of Ari. Who am I to change things? Because of Ari, I see the light. Due to him, I strive for the light. What more can I do? Only with Zohar you can and build up your future. The work already started. Brick by brick, you build up the light within you. When you start reading Zohar, you become aware of new terminology, but there is a glossary of Kabbalistic words on the website. All the drawings we have, and will come draw them within you. It is you who learns Kabbalah, therefore receives it within you. Let Kabbalah help you, and the understanding come later. Of course, your head is necessary, but to receive the light within you, you need the most important ingredient, kavanah, the intention. The real spiritual world is the world of all wishes, altruistic wishes. Our earthly intellect says the spiritual world has nothing to do with wishes. The creation is too high. And Kabbalah says the Ein Sof and all other things are wishes. Wishes means shortness. The creation is shortness. What is creation? Shortness. We lack the light. Everything what was and is created belongs to the wishes. Higher worlds are wishes too, spiritual wishes. As I have explained in previous lessons, these are coarsening of the light. The first name of the coarsening of the light is wish, ratzon. The spiritual word is the world of wishes. In a way, it is a specific coarsening of the light, and coarsening of the light is a wish. For all human beings, every higher step, madriga, is as Ein Sof. Ein Sof is endlessness, wherefrom the creation descended. What you can't experience, what you don't have or haven't awareness for, is for you as light and not Kli. Kli is the receiver. Open yourself and let these words penetrate you. Let these words resolve within you. Your intellect doesn't understand and will fight. Stop fighting and only take it in. Try to imagine it within you when it already lives within you. What you don't experience yet is as light for you. And every time when you have a higher experience, a coarsening has been taken away from your inner eyes. And then you will and can see. To see means to experience, and you need the experience to come to the understanding. A Kabbalist continues, takes in till he reaches the highest understanding, what for him is the highest understanding. Ari and Yehuda Ashlag had reached the highest level, what for human intellect is to be reached, of course considering their soul. Therefore you can learn from them. You learn from them the highest what is given to your soul. It is always the same step. You can't say, I have received the light, if you don't know a thing about the spiritual ladder. How can you receive light? How can you receive the light? Does light fall from heaven? What can you receive from heaven? Rain, snow, and mercy, the round light. This is what a child receives, but the direct light, or yashar, means you have contact with the Creator in a direct way. This you don't receive. For to receive the direct light, you have to work. It is written, when someone says to you, I have found the light, but I didn't do any work, don't believe him. No one receives the light for free, for nothing. What you receive free is only the maintenance light. It is only the light to stay alive. The Creator gives to everyone. It doesn't matter who or what or who he is. The round light is there for everyone. Therefore, let's hope you will be favored to find the higher strength. Strength that you won't become a victim of the commerce, that our Kabbalah will stay pure and real. It is very hard for people once they have money or when other people adore them. Is it possible for any one of us not to give in? The human element yields for money, for adoration. It is human, but you will lose the spiritual. Therefore, be very careful. I have to be careful too. Today I know a lot, but tomorrow, when a new day begins, I know nothing. It is the same for each one of us. Each day you have to prepare yourself. Each day you have to sacrifice your ego. Each day needs your sacrifice completely. What do you have to sacrifice? Only your ego. It is your heart that experiences what you're doing. Your success depends from the goal you have set. What is your goal? You can have all kinds of goals. You want to marry, have kids, you want this and that, etc. But what is your real goal? Focus on your real goal and don't deceive yourself. Go deeper and deeper within yourself and try to have one goal, the eternal spiritual goal. This is to become your goal too, because all the earthly wishes, all the earthly goals will disappoint you. Whatever your earthly wish will be, you will be disappointed. There will never be the satisfaction, and you will stay poor forever. Suppose you feel a lot of power. There will always be the anxiety that there is another person who has more power than you. It is the same with the wishes that aren't related to your main goal. You won't come to your fulfillment. Only in the spiritual you can come to your fulfillment. In the spiritual, we don't say, he is a great rabbi. He's much higher. No, because you have always yourself. You are you. It is your spiritual goal, and here is no deceiving. Of course, you may have certain goals, but let the real spiritual be the most essential goal. The goal of creation has to be the most important goal for you. There is no deceiving in this goal, because you will be able to manage it always. And with this, you can cope with every moment of suffering, misery, or whatever. I go further with the 5 questions and the 5 eternal answers. This has to be, for us, our guideline. In the previous lesson, I have told you, there is a situation or condition, light, or that wants to penetrate you, and the 5 questions and answers. 1. What? My reaction. 2. When? Now. 3. Why? Correction. 4. Where? In me. 5. Who? Me. It is also possible to represent them in Kabbalistic terms. Kli and or. Wish and or. Shortness, question. Within a Kli, you have a situation or condition that wants to have control over you, wants to penetrate. A certain condition will give you the feeling of depression. It is the same with Or Yashar. Or Yashar is the stimulating light, and you have to be the one who can resist, or Hoser. Therefore, you need these 5 questions and these 5 eternal answers to build up the strength within you and to ask these questions with all your heart and to give yourself honest answers. You need all these eternal answers from the 1st till the 5th question. Only in this way you can achieve something. What do you achieve? When you reflect, situation means you have strength within you. You don't give a situation or condition a chance to penetrate you. It is the same with feelings you like. For example, you can feel a lot of love, but you have to be very alert for the things that are trying to overwhelm you. You have to go beyond your strength, meaning to build up within you the strength to say, this is my reaction. Remember, it is always your reaction. When can you say this? Only in the present, and not when you're in the past. When you wake up in the morning and you had a dream, don't think about the dream. It already belongs to the past. It was part of your assimilation. Always live in the present. No, the why is always correction. Whatever the dream was, say to yourself, it was a correction. Let go of the question of the why, because then you approach the question in an intellect manner. In a way, don't think about it, or in other words, don't have any interest for it. What it is not clear to you, don't ask. In early days, there were prophets who had all kinds of visions, and it was then people were in need of, or because their developing wasn't in a way as we see nowadays. The Kabbalah gives you clear answers, therefore let your dream go and stay in the present. Now we know dreams are necessarily to absorb the things we do in daytime. By learning Kabbalah, your mind will receive clarity, and not in your dreams. In your dreams, you go through your things. What is it to you go through when you dream? At night, when you are asleep, it is only your physical body lying there. Where is your soul when you are asleep? What lies in your bed is the lower component, a very low component of you. What had stayed behind is your animal-like soul, and everything what is higher leaves you during the night. What do you see in your dreams? Neglect your dreams. Thus, what is the correction? When you find yourself in a specific situation, be receivable for these eternal questions. What, when, why, where, and who. By way of Kabbalah, you learn to investigate everything. We investigate the Creator, and not to the so-called religions, images. These are childish things. Know that all kind of religious prayers have no value. Religious prayers are for children. Don't think a religious prayer is such a thing like a verse you say with your mouth. You have to investigate. The real prayer is there to help you to come in relation with something higher, namely your higher step. You need the wish for the new higher step, and the wish for the understanding of this new higher step. Now you find yourself in a lower step, and you need the desire to escape this step because of the higher step. This is what matters, and not what you aren't well. When you don't feel well, it is important for you why you are feeling this way. And I want to say something more. When you do well, you live well, and though you feel bad, know it is good for you. It is good for you to feel bad, but don't stay too long in this feeling. As soon as you have this feeling, ask yourself these 5 questions and give yourself these 5 answers. And for this, you need the strength. Don't say everything is perfect. Of course, you may say this, but you have to be alert. Work with these questions. When you're exhausted, it is too late. Be alert when this feeling begins, because when you feel the first stage, something wants to seduce you, and you feel you are lacking the strength to withstand the temptation. Start working with the questions and the answers. Don't let it enter you completely. Work with questions and know everything lies in your hands. The solution is given to us. It is for everyone who wants to prevent depression. It is for him or her who wants to prevent the feeling of not being well. Therefore, don't wait too long. When you neglect this, feel pity and you feel sad, in every situation be on time with confronting yourself with these 5 questions, and bring up the strength to give these 5 eternal answers. No, these answers are right always till the coming of the Messiah. The eternity. Whatever the situation may be, to say yourself, what is my reaction? Be honest to yourself and feel the strength to give yourself an eternal answer. This is the work you have to do, therefore do it. This is the work at mankind. It's a fact. This isn't coming from me, but from above, and everything that comes from above is for 100% good. The questions will be the same always. The difference lies in the delta. The difference lies between your condition and you have this moment and the eternal answer, the perfect condition. This is the difference you have to get rid of. The difference between your present condition and the perfect answer. The answer is light and question is shortness. When you have a question, no, this means you have shortness. When you receive an answer, no, you receive a sparkle of light. Light and shortness or darkness. What is darkness? Darkness is there when you have no power and you lack the knowledge to handle the situation in a proper way. The filling for my question lies in the eternal answers, or in other words, the answer is light. And I do this by way of Or Hoser, the reflecting light. But first I have to bring up within myself the strength, and the delta is a difference. I have a question 1 and delta 1, and I have to work on this to get the eternal answer. The same question with question 2 and delta 2. I have to work with all the 5 deltas because in every situation I have these 5. Of course, there are more questions possible, but these are the most important. In a way, they are the essence of the question. I already told you it is you who have to give a real answer. You are the one who have to build up the strength to give the answer coming from your heart and from your soul. You have to wake up these answers and you have to accept them. What will be the result of all the inner work you do? The result is Masach, the screen or willpower, or in other words, the anti-egoistic strength. The Masach already has in essence the 5 answers. Slowly you will get used to this. By reading the manual and reading of the Kabbalah teaching, you will feel how it works. The first eternal question, or Chazar, is the weakest one, meaning there is only the reflection and no receiving. It always works in this way. The weakest resistance is to say, no, I don't receive, and this already gives you reward in having a feeling of the light of giving. To give already gives you the feeling that you are alive, but to give is only 1/2, while the wish of the Creator is you should receive, but in a way that it is giving. Receive to give pleasure. The first question is only the reflecting. In this lesson, Michael asked the students who were present in the room not to speak with each other as much as they're doing. It's a habit to help others. When other person has no understanding, it is so easy to help him, but there is a danger that one thinks he knows more than other person. And we are all students. Your help has to be in helping another person to talk about the Creator, Boreh, with what the subject is, but no explanation. Maybe a long time you're present here and another person just walks in. Each person has his own correction that has to work on himself. It is good to help another person, but not here. Here, no one is better or less. In the material world, it is possible to have the attitude of teacher, but not here. Here we are working with things that are very thin and refined. There's no grasping in the spiritual. You have to make yourself receivable for the real spiritual. It is inhuman what we're doing, and therefore do your own job. You have to bring everything to the spiritual. Investigate yourself and know the answers can be discovered here in the Kabbalah. Kabbalah isn't a religion. Kabbalah isn't this or that. Kabbalah is Kabbalah. There is so much talking about spiritual. They're talking about the spiritual. It is still human. But we are learning the laws of the universe, and they aren't Jewish or Christian or whatever. There is only Boreh and Or, the Creator and light, and Kli, the human being. What we're learning has nothing to do with people. No Jew or whatever he may be. No, the real spiritual is open for everyone. The Creator doesn't make any difference in whom or what he sees. The word spiritual is being used in such a common way, but it is you who has to see for yourself what is spiritual and what not. When you do something and it gives you the feeling of being well, your body likes it, don't think it has anything to do with the spiritual. When you work in the real spiritual and you feel your body is protesting and says, what are you doing? This is foolish. No, you're on the right path. Maybe you're busy with the spiritual. Then you have to know the spiritual is contradicted in what one usually thinks, what the spiritual is. Search for the real spiritual. The real spiritual is the experience of the source of life, and for this you have to give the utmost effort. Give and not receive. Know you lack the strength to give. When you come to the second question, you have a little strength and you will feel the merging, the unity, the oneness. When you reach the real spiritual, it will become clear for you. You received Yehud. What does this mean? As a consequence of the inner work you do, to bring about the eternal answers. As a result, you receive unity. You receive the feeling of oneness, considering the situation. When you confront yourself in the right way within every situation, as a consequence, you receive wholeness, oneness, considering the eternal answers. When you keep yourself busy with the second till the fifth question, considering the eternal answers, oneness will be the outcome, considering your inner and the light, what lies outside of you is as light, and this is hard to understand. It is important for you to know when you feel in every situation, every condition, a reaction that is coming from above. It is given to you, so now you have the chance to work. Therefore, become aware of the reaction. The reaction may be positive or negative, good or bad. No, it is your feeling what matters. Good or bad is relative. It is all about your reaction. Give a reaction on the second question in an adequate manner, plus or minus. It doesn't matter, and this is hard to understand because we are very selective. When we like it, we accept it. When there is no pleasure, we want to ignore it. This is what we do in this material world. We make our choices in the same way a little child does. The mother feeds her child with healthy food, but the child wants sweeties. The child likes candy or a cookie, and when we do the same with the spiritual, every day we feel a lot of stimulus, but we only reach for the things we like. Therefore, it is very important for you who are reading this, for he or she who's striving for wholeness, don't be very picky. Don't search for what you like. Don't search for the prince on the white horse who says to you, you are good, or for someone who is saying yes to you in everything what you do. Search for people who are difficult, because the work lies in to accept them as they are. When you do otherwise, you pamper yourself, and that has nothing to do with the real spiritual work. Don't pamper yourself. Don't have even the wish for it. Look around you and see how your contact with others is. Is it a hypocrite way, or do you want to be the good guy? Never play the good guy. Someone can be very unpleasant in your eyes, but maybe he tries to stress something out, and you felt annoyed, but in a way, he's telling the truth to you. Be grateful to have these people around you. He dares to say something to you, okay, you don't like it, but you have to know, always feel joy. All the irritations are coming from you outside, and you need them to make yourself strong, to build up the resistance to experience the true reality. Isn't this wonderful? Therefore, when someone is irritating you, don't look for what he's saying. There was a great Kabbalist, and one tried to make him angry, but it didn't work. He was insensitive for the irritation. Of course, there can be a little irritation. Suppose it starts raining and you're without an umbrella, then there's irritation, but only from the outside. From within, you have to feel joy. Remember the song, I'm singing in the rain. The inner person always knows the eternal answers. What is the meaning of the 4 questions and the 4 answers? The plus and the minus. Why 4 and not 5? The first question is only the reflecting, but the next 4 questions give us the experience of oneness of justice. I'm talking about a real deed, the inner justification in the sense of getting rid of the 5 deltas, to get rid of the stimulus that takes place in a specific situation. I don't have any interest for the stimulus. In the material world, we talk about being assertive. This is being assertive in the right sense of the word. It isn't the intention that you come in resistance, but to come in a true way. Of course, to come in a true way of being assertive. You know, all these questions and eternal answers are the inner solution, but you also know you have to work on it by acting in a material way. But the essence is the inner aspect, the inner justification of the situation. You are the one who gives the effort. You receive the strength to justify the stimulus in that specific situation, and not by saying this is good, or he hit me on the right cheek and now I turn my left cheek to him. There is a deeper understanding within these words, but you have to work on it. You have to do your inner work. Take responsibility in your own hands. It is the first step you have to make, and then you can come in infinity. Every situation is bound on time. Whatever the situation may be, always see the eternal context, even in the most trivial, no-nonsense thing. The eternal context is so important for us. Every time you bring it to the infinity, you are working with yourself. Desire for the spiritual, long for the real spiritual, because he who has a deep desire does do everything. Whatever the situation may be, he wants to have profit. It is all about your reaction, the way you react. Everything is good in the sense that you didn't have another option, so why irritate yourself? Okay, maybe you did react in a foolish way, but there was a voice within you. Let's say the voice of foolishness, and you couldn't bring it to the eternal by way of the questions. Eternal means when you say, I bring the situation for this condition, and the way I experience it, I bring it in the present. You only have to say, from within I have kelim. Only from within I can understand infinity. Not to go outside of you, and this has never worked and will never work. The only place where you can find the real spiritual is within you. People talk about philosophy. Does philosophy rescue you? They name it spiritual, but it is still connected with the intellect. It is beautiful, but intellectual. They say, what I don't understand doesn't exist. This is an intellectual approach and not spiritual. It is the same with theology. Beautiful, but has it anything to do with the real spiritual? They talk about the spiritual, but you have to feel, experience the spiritual. These 5 questions have to be within you. Feel them within yourself. It is you who have to have strength to justify a situation. And this is only can be done by way of the 5 internal answers. Bring them to an eternal context. Whatever happens to you, this is what you have to do. You can make use of anything. Whatever the situation may be, bring it in the contact with the eternal. Isn't this marvelous? You can make use of every situation to bring it in connection with the Creator, and this is a beautiful event. Whatever happens, you will stay in contact with infinity, and there will be an everlasting connection with the eternal. You have done your job, something wanted to penetrate you, and you had built up in yourself the strength to evaluate the situation. Make yourself receivable for these questions and bring them together. Let it become one strength and bring it in contact with eternity. Whatever the situation may be, a funeral or a wedding, you can stay in the present. Of course, when you have to deal with a situation of a funeral, there is grief. We stay human. We are beings of flesh and blood. But don't stay there too long, for a short time, only for a short time. As soon as possible, connect yourself with eternity, with the one created strength, and let emotions for what they are. Emotions are something, it is overvalued. We make use of emotions, and this is still very childish. Always justify the one created strength. Maybe you ask, why may I not conform or comfort? Why I'm not comforting someone? No, everything is spiritual. From above, He gives and He takes. Is there a place for you to comfort another person? When you still think so, you think like a child. You are still playing. There is no drama in this world. Whatever happens, remember there is, was, and will be no drama in this world. The Creator is one. See everything in context with infinity. And you can do this by saying the Creator is one. You will come and love the Creator with the whole heart, with your whole heart, with all your strength, with all the power you have within you. In every situation, even a funeral, when someone dies, feel joy. Feel an immense joy. The joy has to be more than when you have a positive situation. Feel the greatest joy in the most difficult situation. Feel that you are connected with the Creator in a way you have never felt before. Your love has to be for the one creating strength. Let your love be with Boré, who is the one next to you. This is your own love. Feel joy in every situation, and joy is there when you are in contact with eternity, with the eternal questions and the eternal answers. When you have victory over your situation, what does this mean? Whatever the situation may be, whatever the stimulus is, it can't overwhelm you anymore. You did a great job from within. You have built up the inner strength to get rid of this deltas, and you have done this by justifying the situation. As a result, you received the comment considering the situation. Now you know everything comes from the Creator. He gives, and when He gives to you, you receive light. This is what we mean when we say someone received the light by way of the Masach, by way of the anti-egoistic strength, by way of his willpower. Only when you have done this job, you can receive light. You feel horrible and still you let yourself be guided by the light. Now you can transform it in joy because you build up the strength within you. By way of these answers, you give it to yourself. You wake up within you the strength, and by way of this, you receive the connection. And through all these connections, you experience light. Whatever the situation is, whatever the stimulus is, face it, do your job from within, and you will receive the light or. Build up within you the strength. Do this because of the eternal wholeness, because your desire to live is so great, and because your desire to come to your fulfillment is there. Because of your love, because you love life. Seek within yourself in every situation and know this gives strength. When you work on yourself, everything will be good, perfect, forever. Whatever you do, do it in a perfect way. Place everything in the perspective of the eternal, and you will receive the light in every situation. Justify a situation by bringing up the strength. Do it and don't miss a thing. Take every chance. I know the work you do is inhumane. Kabbalah is inhumane according to the human norm. You live in this world, but always there is work to do in every situation. There is a specific situation. The emotions want to drag you outside yourself, and you gave in, but now you know how to stay in contact with your inner. Only from inner you can feel the present, the eternal. From outside you feel the emotions, and when you give in, you stay as a child. Is this what you want? Make use of the 5 questions, the 5 answers in every situation. When you see the eternal context, you will know every situation comes from above. Whatever happens, it has sense. It comes from above, and it has sense regardless what it is. It isn't given to us to give answers. Always, man has worked on himself, worked on his own fulfillment through the years and through the ages. One has worked on him himself, and through this working he worked for the whole community. The work for the whole can be done through the individual work, never by way of the mass. You receive light or from Kabbalah when you read as receiving light. What you read is as receiving light. In the measure you reflect, you can see the desire for the understanding. What you do, what you receive is light coming from the Kabbalah. Each situation is suitable for investigation. In each situation lies a rescue, light, or. Work with the 5 eternal questions and the 5 eternal answers. And while you're doing this, you're working on your own fulfillment. Refer to drawing 18 in the written material. Meditation, Part 2.